Hi, I'm Jeanette and I'm the owner of Jeanette Aaron Performing Arts Studio. Next month we have some new classes that are starting, so I thought today I would take this opportunity to give you a little sneak peek into one of the classes that we'll be doing. So today we're going to talk about songwriting and in particular lyric writing. So when we do our songwriting workshop that starts next month, we're going to be talking about chord progressions and melodies and lyrics, all different kinds of things. But for today, we're just going to talk about the lyric writing. We have 3 steps that we need to take to create a song with great lyrics. The first step in this case is that we're going to write a title. Now, we don't always start this way. There are tons of different ways to approach writing a song, and everybody writes songs their own way. But this is one way that you might want to try and see if it helps you to create some great lyrics. So we're going to start with our title. You're going to write down your title, and then we're going to write what that title means to you. Now, if you're not really sure where to start with this title, here's a few things that you might want to think about while you're writing your title. One is that you need it to grab attention. You want people to hear this title and be interested and excited. So that brings us to that we want our titles to be interesting. Interesting and unusual titles are things that people are drawn to. We want it to evoke powerful emotions, and lastly, it should be a little bit clever to get people excited about it. Once you have your perfect title, write down a few sentences and explain what that title means to you. That way we keep on track and we know where our song is going to be going. Okay, so we have our title, we've got it written down, and we know what it means to us. So the next step number 2, is that we're going to write out the message to be conveyed in each section of our song. Now, every song has different sections, and when you put those sections together, it creates a form. So some songs are ABAB form. That could be verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Some songs are longer, and they have ABABCB. That is verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, that's something new, and then back to the chorus. Now, there's plenty of other different forms that we could explore, but we're not going to focus on that today. If you decide to join our class, we'll definitely talk about form as we start to create our song. Once you've got your form figured out, you're going to need to write out your ideas or the message that each section is going to convey. So write out some descriptive words. These words can help you later as you're trying to write the lyrics. So write some descriptive words as to what you want that section of the song to be about. And then think about what else, what comes next. Use that to continue your story and write a few sentences for each section. Your verse, your chorus, your second verse. Your next chorus will be the same as the first, so you don't have to worry about that. And then if you decide to add in a bridge, you want to explain what that's going to be about too. Alright, so once you've done that, that was step number 2. We've got all of our ideas written out. Now it's time to start writing the lyrics. And this is what we're really going to dive into today. Alright, so now we're ready for step 3. This is a section where we're going to be talking about the lyrics and what things we can do with our lyrics to create something interesting, to keep people's attention. There's all different kinds of ways to write lyrics. So this is just one example or one way that you can try. So let's talk about some patterns. Patterns that happen in the way we say our lyrics and in our lyrics themselves. So if we're thinking about a line of lyric, think about the syllables. How many syllables does that line have? Now look at the next line. Are they the same? Are they different? Do you see the pattern of syllables repeating somewhere in the song? So for example, we can have the first line be 7 syllables. And then after that, the next line could be the same. These patterns make us as listeners feel comfortable with the song. Makes us feel like the song is complete and it feels good as we listen. If there's lots of changes in our syllable patterns, it can feel uncomfortable as you listen. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's definitely not a rule. You don't have to always keep with the same amount of syllables. So let's give it a try. We're going to do an exercise to practice this. I'll give you some examples and then you can try it on your own. I'm going to talk about a song that you may have heard before. It's called How Do I Live by Leanne Rimes. This is one of the songs that I really liked when I was growing up. Now, if you listen to the lyrics, it starts, "How do I live without you?" That's 7 syllables. How do I live without you? 7 syllables. The next line is also 7 syllables. We have, how do I breathe without you? How do I breathe without you? We've got our 7 syllables again. So you can try to start noticing those patterns in some songs. I'm going to give you one more example before you try it on your own. So this is a song that I wrote, and this song is called Times Change. When I wrote it, I made some of the lines have the same amount of syllables. Not all of the lines in the song will have that many syllables, so my lyrics were, I still have you on my mind. Just like the Leanne Rimes song, it's 7 syllables. I didn't plan that, that's just how it happened. So the line again is, I still have you on my mind. 7 syllables. The next line also has 7 syllables. I still hold you in my heart. So it goes, I still have you on my mind. I still hold you in my heart. And it sounds nice, it sounds complete because they have some kind of a repetition, some kind of a matching in the feeling of the patterns that you're singing. Okay, so let's have you try it this time. I'll give you a phrase or a line from a song and you write the next one. Make sure to match it with the same amount of syllables. Don't worry about rhyming yet, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to give you the first example and then you can try to write a response or the next line on your own. So this one is 5 syllables and the words are, if this is a dream. If this is a dream. 5 syllables. Go ahead and take a moment, pause the video, and write a second line to go along with those lyrics. And then when you're ready, turn the video back on and I'll give you one more example to try. Our next example that you can try is only 3 syllables. This one is hold me close. 3 syllables. Hold me close. Go ahead and pause the video, take a few minutes to write a response or the second line that would come next, and then join us back here in the video to see what's next. Okay, so now we're going to incorporate some rhyming. So we're going to continue to work on those syllables, but we'll add some rhyming in as well. So this exercise, I will give you 2 lines of lyrics, and you will make the next 2 lines of lyrics thinking about the patterns in our syllables and also some rhyming. Let me give you some examples first. So first, I'll say the first 2 lines, and then I'll explain what's happening with the next 2 lines before I tell you what they are. So here's an example. I love you so much, and I want you to know. So those are our first 2 lines. I love you so much is 5 syllables, and I want you to know, 6 syllables. All right, so we've got our 2 lines, 5 syllables and 6 syllables, and then the next 2 lines are going to be the same, 5 syllables and then 6 syllables. They're going to have different words, but we'll keep that syllable pattern, and this time we're going to rhyme. So we're only going to rhyme the second line and the 4th line. So from the first 2 lines, we're just going to rhyme the last sound of our second line. All right, so I'm going to say those first 2 lines again, and then I'll say the next 2 lines so that you can hear how the patterns sound together and how those rhymes work. I love you so much, and I want you to know. These 2 loving arms will never let you go. So we keep the same syllable pattern, and now we add the rhyme of know and go. Okay, so that was one example. Now I'm going to give you one more example, and this is one of my own songs. This song is called My Everyday. Okay, so I'll do what I did before. I'll give you the first 2 lines so you can kind of hear them, get an idea of what the syllable pattern is and the word that we're going to rhyme with, and then I'll add the last 2 lines so that you can hear what they sound like all together. So here are the first 2 lines of lyrics. You're not just my today, you are my forever. Okay, so we've got you're not just my today. That's 6 syllables for the first line, and you are my forever. That's another 6. So I didn't do that on purpose, but that's just how it happened. So we have 6 and 6, which means the next two lines are going to be 6 and 6 again. So now as we talk about this one, my third and fourth lines don't have the exact same amount of syllables, which is a great thing to talk about because we can make the syllables stretch out or make them longer, or we can shrink them and make them shorter in a song by changing the rhythmic ways that we sing them. So with this one, my next line only has 5 syllables, but when I sing it, it sounds like 6 syllables, so it matches that first line of 6 syllables. So listen to this again. The beginning line was, "You're not just my today." You're not just my today. 6 syllables. The line that's going to match that with its syllables only has 5. It's, "You're not just a phase." 5 syllables. I can stretch out one of those syllables, making it longer, so that way it'll match the 6 syllables that I'm trying to match with the first line. Let me show you when I sing it. You're not just my today. Now the next part, I'm going to skip and I'm going to go to that line that matches it. You're not just a phase. Did you hear how my just was longer? Just. I gave just 2 notes. That makes it feel like it's 2 syllables instead of 1. So instead of sounding like a 5-syllable line, I made it 6 by stretching out just and giving it an extra syllable. So that's one way that you can stretch out your syllables. Now let's talk about making the syllables shorter. If we sing them faster, they can get shorter. So let's talk about the second and fourth line of my song this time. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, that second line, was 6 syllables. It's, "You are my forever." 6 syllables. The one that's going to match it is 7 syllables, so I have to make it a little bit shorter. It's, "You mean more than that to me." So we've got 7 syllables this time, which at least one of them is going to have to shrink. Okay, let me sing them for you so you can hear how it sounds when I change the rhythm slightly to make it fit with our syllables. So we have, "You are my forever." That's our 6-syllable line. And then, "You mean more than that to me." Then that was really quick. Each of those syllables got small, so when I put them together, it equaled the amount of time as one of my syllables from the first line. So that way, the 7 syllables match into our 6 syllables. I'm going to sing all of that together so you can hear how the whole section sounds. You're not just my today. You are my forever. You're not just a phase. You mean more than that to me. Alright, so you see how our rhythm patterns are working really nicely, repeating so that it feels comfortable to the audience, and even though our syllables weren't perfect, we were able to fit them in to match. If your syllables are way off, like you have something with only 3 syllables and then you try to add something else that matches that's 7 syllables, that's probably not going to work, and we're going to have to do some editing and change those lyrics to make them match better. One more thing I wanted to talk about was the rhyme. Right? So on this one, we have today, forever, phase, and me. So it's not a true rhyme, but it's close. It's on the today and phase. So this time I'm rhyming the first line and the third line instead of the second line and the fourth line. So we can put those rhymes in different places. It's up to you as the songwriter to decide where you want those rhymes to be. If we put too many rhymes, it can be a little overwhelming and sound just a little bit cheesy. So make sure that when you're figuring out where to put those rhymes, that you're really thinking about how it's going to sound when you put the whole song together. All right, I'm going to let you try it now so that you can have some practice writing your own 2 lines to match and thinking about those rhymes. I'm just going to give you one example for you to try at home. This is a continuation of the song we were just talking about, My Everyday, which is one of the songs that I wrote. So I'm going to give you my 2 lines and you can complete them by adding 2 more lines. So here they are. Never thought that I would ever love someone like you. So the first line is 8 syllables. Never thought that I would ever. 8 syllables. Now the second one is only 5 syllables. Love someone like you. So when you write it, make sure that your first line that you write is 8 syllables and the next line is 5 syllables to match the lines that I wrote. And then think about your rhyming. You can rhyme the first line that I wrote with the first line that you write, or you can rhyme my second line with the second line that you write. So make sure to put a rhyme in there, get those syllables to match, and see how you do writing your own part of the song. Now that you've had a chance to try with these exercises, you're ready to go ahead and write some of your own lyrics. So think about the syllable patterns and the rhyming that we were just talking about, and go ahead and start writing. Write, write, write. Write it all down, and don't forget that you can always edit. So if you write something now and you don't love it later, you can always edit and change it before you record it and make it its final product. If you want to learn some more about songwriting, make sure to join us for our next session of our songwriting workshop starting in September. If you missed the September class, don't worry. We're going to have plenty more opportunities for you to join in on classes like our songwriting or many other classes that we have available at the studio, and for right now, online, virtual classes. If you have any questions or if you want to share what you've written for me, go ahead and send it to me by email or put it in the comments. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!